Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love once again. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I guess officially this is the first stream at my new location. So for those of you who missed out with Jack the last couple of days, the last stream I did, I was just checking it out, was Thursday, and here we are Sunday already. So Friday was a day of moving for me. I checked out of the hotel, and I found myself a more longer term, a more consistent shelter for myself to stay. And so Friday was spent moving. Saturday, last night, I was online, just not on my channel, not on this stream. Anyway, long introduction, blessings and greetings and much love to all of you. Today, it's Sunday. I'm getting a little bit later start than the traditional scheduled time. Holy cows, my internet signal just dropped out, so it looks like there's still things to continue to grow. Anyway, so here we are, Sunday afternoon. I'm feeling a little bit preachy, but I didn't attend any church services today. In the background of the stream is me. Let brotherly love continue. Brotherly love, that's the goal for me to share and what I want to remind us all of. And today's Tal quote, this came to me not long ago when I was dealing with relationships, recognizing the patterns that people will, they'll pick up the same argument, pick up the same disagreement from weeks, months, years ago. Fools repeat their fools. I used to be a fool, recognizing who I am and the way I was. I used to be a fool, and there's some, I'm sure I can already hear the voices. You're still a fool, Jack. But in my mind, my definition, I was a fool when I was in the depths of my disease, my alcoholism. The daily patterns of self-abuse, that's not something only a fool will do, but there I was, and I know I'm not alone. There's a lot of addicts out there, people addicted to self-sabotaging, self-limiting behaviors, old routines. So if you want to not be a fool, break yourself from the foolish patterns. What I learned truly, and it makes sense. We're here to grow. One who pays attention to the present moments of life and time, pays attention to those who come in and out of our lives. One who pays attention can listen, can learn, grow into newer and greater experiences. Newer and greater experiences, those represent change. So if we're growing, we're changing. One who pays attention can listen, learn, and grow into newer and greater experiences. And with that, growth brings change and challenges. Conversely, a fool has closed their mind to growth, and they will repeat the same arguments, the same patterns, the same conflicts until they learn. And I didn't recognize the connection to my patterns. I kind of thought it was other people, but I encourage you, listen and pay attention to you. Don't fool yourself into playing the fool for very long. It's real easy to do. Yes, Powder Dusty, I took a chance, and I've added some mods back to some people, and I've been sharing. I'm in the DC area. I'm in the District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia. I'm in the DMV, just outside of DC, a little bit farther away than the hotel was, but it's cheaper, it's more consistent, and I don't have to worry about moving every couple of days. So things are Things are happening. Things are changing. The topic today is really in line with the concept of being a fool or allowing yourself to grow. The topic today about growth or stagnation. It's a choice that each of us, we may not consciously choose, but it's a choice that we all make. Are we going to grow today, or are we going to stay comfortable? Are we going to stick to the routine and stick to the habits? Well, here I am. It's a Sunday. It's another day, but holy cows, Jack might be out of his mind, but he dropped the link again today. For those who want to hang out, today it's Sunday. Like I said, I got started a little bit later. Part of my purpose with the channel and the streams, it's partly to document and update my story, what's been happening with me. It's a lot to keep track of for one guy, but I'm doing the best I can. And luckily we've got the technology and the, the greater society to help us. So today, though, I titled the stream Sunday Chats with Jack and Openish Panel Opportunity. We'll kind of go back to the old days a little bit. Not that I really strayed much from the old ways, but I am back. I missed a couple of days, but I've had so much. It's been exciting. Today's Sunday. Yesterday I made it down to oh man, I closed the tab. Yesterday I ventured into DC and I explored the transit system. Pretty not very difficult once I started playing around with it. I put my mind into it a little bit. And so yesterday I traveled into Washington, D.C., just outside of Union Station. For those who might be familiar, there's a Columbus Circle. And there in the Columbus Circle was an organizing event, Solidarity City. And the idea was, what's it called? Mutual aid support, gathering together to share support with each other. I ventured down towards that, but there wasn't a lot of activity in Solidarity City, at least for the time I was there. But being a postal guy and a guy with that background, someone who likes history and such, right next door as well was the National Postal Museum. So as a former postal employee, 22 years with that organization, I went in and kind of explored the history, and it's a cool little place. It looks like there are a lot of museums around here. And someone asked, I'm more towards Baltimore, so it's not far. It's about, I think, 35 minutes, 40 minutes to get to the train station, and then another commute that way. It's not that difficult to get downtown. And next week, again, I mean, next week starts tomorrow, Monday. I'm certainly hoping to start getting some more connections around town. The reality of my life, though, the reality of my choices, it's been setting in on me. It's kind of radical. You know, radical moving from your hometown, the place where you've lived for over a quarter of a century. It took off, and the goal is really kind of unbelievable. I'm a guy who wants to see the world at peace. Why do I want the world to see peace? Because I found peace. I didn't know it was available. And it was always there. The peace of the spiritual path, it's there for you to discover as well. And it's so simple. It's so simple to affect and to transform yourself. It just takes the intention, right? The mind. If I want to be honest, it takes the grace of God. Okay, because that's where I figured it all comes down to, is it all comes down to, by the grace of God, goodness is discovered. For God is the good, and the good is that which reveals the truth. And the truth doesn't require words. The truth just is. And that which does not require words, which moves beyond the truth, that's love, man. That's love, baby. The power of love, it goes beyond space. It goes beyond time. The love we feel for those who we love, they may disappear from our lives, and we'll feel that emptiness and we'll feel that hurt. But the trueness of love is that's a sign. It's a sign of the power of love, that love goes beyond space and time. It's our limited minds. Our minds are limited. When I say our, I'm talking about you and me, human beings, people. Our minds create all these fears. Our minds create all these judgments, all these worries. A mind not mastered is a very, very cruel ruler. It rules without mercy, without stopping. I remember laying in my bed at night, an overactive mind, and I was helpless. I didn't know what to do. I thought it was normal. An overactive mind is not normal, okay? If you're suffering from the monkey mind syndrome, it may give you the appearance that you're really skilled at multitasking. It's deceptive. See, the mind works best when it's empty, when it's at peace, when there's space for the new ideas to form. But a mind that's convinced, that's convicted, a mind that is already decided, it can easily become confused. But brothers and sisters, look at the bigger picture. This is the world we live in. We have men and women all around this nation who've decided, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat. And if I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat and you're not, then you're against me. And if you're against me, that scares me. Don't be afraid, right? Fear not, judge not, rejoice and celebrate. It's all the path of trueness. Here's what I'd like to offer for anyone tuning in. I know I can get a little bit long-winded. I know that my ideas can bounce around, and I can certainly improve in the ability that I communicate. But the message I really want to try and get across, well, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of messages I want to get across, but I'm hoping you can learn through me from my experience. Because in my experience, what I've been doing is really kind of testing myself, challenging myself. I tried on faith. I tried on spirituality, tried the ideas on, and guess what I found? They work for me. The idea of being nothing without a higher power, it's humbling, that's for sure. But in the end, it's the truth. Because we come from the dirt, we're just organized energy put into form. And then as soon as we start growing and living, we're also dying. It's just the paradox. Life goes on. Life continues, and that's to be celebrated because you are a part of life, as am I. We are this day. And this day, it's just like many others, yet this day is new, just like all the others. We have been brought into life again today. Let me try. I don't know if I should do this or not. Engage with the chat. Yeah, confusion is a result of living a life of what ifs. Partially true. See, and the partial truths will create total confusion. Red 40, and you've been showing confusion and wisdom. You're kind of hit and miss from what I've seen, but it's what we all do. What I've learned, though, is the ego mind, particularly in today's society, it's normalized doubt. So it would rather stay in doubt and stay confused rather than in the what ifs, like you're describing, Red 40. But see, maturity includes the confidence to make a choice. And if you don't make a choice of what is or is not true, especially if you're, well, see, there's subtleties, and I don't want to get too much confusion. We're the hand puppets to accompany the high pitched voice. I know. Good for you, Red 40. You've at least made a choice. I think you're saying thriving by doing exactly the opposite of what you say. So, in other words, you live without love, you live with fear, you embrace your anger, you don't forgive, you don't accept. Yeah, I think you're doing right. And there's one burning tongue. I did get ripped up on Snafu's stream. I tried to be patient and kind and Christ-like. But holy cows, man, people are frustrating, particularly the arrogant and the prideful. The prideful and arrogant are the biggest challenge. But this is where the spirituality comes in. Through God's grace, all things may be. Through God's grace, all things are. We don't know what might be. We only know a small fraction of what are, of what is. We only know our own limited experience. But the glory is we're not in this alone. We don't have to rely on only our own experience. We get to incorporate the lessons and the information from other people. We get to incorporate those lessons and information into our own experience. But you don't have to. You can stay confused. You can stay limited. You can stay prideful. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything. My brother Jack, what happened with you in Los Angeles? There was no connections made. I went with the idea, the vision of connecting with other like-minded people, but I saw people connected to a program and not really finding interest in me. So I wanted to return to Los Angeles for follow-up and to continue learning. What this is referring to, I believe, from Great Vision, I believe it's referring to the event I attended in LA back in March, I think. And it was amazing. The science of transformational technologies is what it was related to. And it was a very intelligent run program that took the whole room full of people, a couple hundred participants, took us through these emotional exercises, and there was healing, a lot of healing to be found. And that is my fascination. There's so many ways for you and me and people to find healing. There's so many ways. There are so many answers out there. This going along in life, just suffering with the problems, suffering with the poverty, suffering with the bad habits, that's a bunch of nonsense. Absolute nonsense when you stop and think about it. This is your life. This is your life right now, the one life you get to live right now. Nothing is holding you back. Nothing is holding me back from greatness. Greatness is to be defined by you. What is great to you? What would be great for me is to do what I'm saying, right? I received an education with organized labor. I received the experience with the active duty military. I took all these things from my past and I asked myself back in 2018, what do I do now? Because see, in my heart, I felt unhappy. For those who are, I won't go into the details again, but just for those who may not be aware, throughout most of my life, I had a habit drinking a lot. The last decade of my drinking, from 2006 to 2016, it was a disease and it was sick. And I was sick. And I didn't know how to get away from my disease. I just kept watching myself go to the liquor store, go to the grocery store, beers and vodkas and whiskeys. And it was just an expense and a burden that I had to schedule my life around. All of my plans were built around how much can I have a drink? How much can I be drinking during this event? Anyway, I was sick in my head until 2016. And then rather than trying to die, I chose to try and finally get some help. And I did. It was a challenge for me to get approval for the support, the insurance. And then I was tested. Jack, you say you want to change. How much do you want to change? What are you willing to commit? And I had to do some work to get into detox, to get myself starting to change. But when I chose to no longer try and die, and I just looked at it a little differently, I chose to live greater. How do you live greater when all you know is what you know? It's frightening. It's scary. Because how do you leave the life that you know when you've been comfortable and safe? If you're not comfortable and safe, then you're putting yourself at risk. And if you're putting yourself at risk, it's not worth it. These are the games that the mind will play. So 2018, I chose to grow, and I committed myself to growing. And I started looking at myself. What can I grow? What is good about me? And what is not? And I started to grow the things that are good about me. I encourage you, look at yourself, do an inventory of you. You're never, no matter the age, these practices, if you haven't done them in a while, they're good ideas for you for your own personal tracking and development. But do an inventory with you. What am I good at? What am I weak at? And when you bring those things into your attention, well, then it gives you an opportunity, because anything you measure and you monitor, you have a greater chance of influencing, right? This is why in business, it's important to have analytics and, you pay attention to the different variables so that you know what you can grow. And so if you do that for your own skill set and you see where your strengths are, for me, admittedly, while it's also been my greatest handicap, I actually believe that communication is a skill that life has gifted to me. Not in a prideful, egoic way, but I believe it is a fact. I first started identifying my skill with words, typing, writing. When I'd write up the grievances, and as a union official, I'd write up the story, tell the story, present the case, introduce the facts, right, and offer the conclusion. So I found that I had somewhat of a gift of word. Now, I didn't have the confidence at all. Speaking? Hell no, man. Public speaking? Hell no. That wasn't me. I'm the one who was back in the corner. You need something done, you tell me what to do, it's done, you don't have to question it. That's the type of guy I am. Kind of out of sight, out of mind, and I'm a hard worker. However, this wasn't my path. I had to face my fears when I stepped up and became a union leader. I had to face the fact that, in order to step up and carry a little more responsibility, it meant I had to put myself out there a little more. So over the years, old Jack Talcott, I've been getting a little more comfortable, and I have visions. I don't have the experience of live events, but not really. But I've envisioned myself speaking in front of tens of thousands of people, right? Filling coliseums and motivating people and encouraging people and developing the right skill set. So let me get it back off of me and back to you, right? So I did this a while ago when I took a look at me. What is good about me? I got a strong mind. I can absorb and interpret really complex scenarios. So I've got a strong mind in my heart. I care. Now, many people, most of us, we've all got minds that are gifted in different perceptions and different functions and different abilities. We've all got these different hearts, desires, and cares and passions. Every one of us has these similar traits. So when I started looking at me, right, the world fell apart. After I got sober and chose to change, my life started transforming, and it fell apart. I was no longer a father or a friend or an employee or a union leader. I was just me. And so here I am, kind of kicked to the curb in my hometown and rejected from the life I used to know. So I had to look at me. What do I do now? What direction do I go? And I was considering this more recently. If you stop and think about it, that question is upon you and me every single day. While we have chosen routines, we've chosen where we reside, we've chosen who we associate with, we've chosen the restaurants we go to, the work we do. We've chosen all of those things. But each day, your mind is not limited by those things unless you don't look away. And see, I spent 22 years at the Postal Service, expanding some of this, but I mean, I was 18 years there and then a few years of a labor dispute. But anyway, throughout my life, I was focused on my path. And I was looking at retirement, and I was looking at the bills, and I was looking at job security, because those are important. As an American, my mom, my stepdad, her parents, my grandparents, we were all taught hard work, right? You can't trust people. You got to work for yourself, and you got to protect for yourself. And life is tough. That's what my family tree had been taught. And so my mind is going back to some of the stories of the past. And my life is an interesting story, but so is yours. We are the stories of today. And that which is, our spirits are perfect, but these vessels have flaws. I don't believe they are flawed, because I believe all that is experienced has been brought forth from and through the eye of perfection. From the eye of perfection, the universe moves and offers. You admitted last night falling snafu, Daddy was a nothing burger. Yeah. When Station 33, when you do apologize to me, we're going to have so much fun. You let your ears hear my mouth poop. When I loop, you loop me loop. Oh, see, Tommy, for those who wish to join, the link is pinned. I don't have to run for 2 hours. I could shut her down a little sooner. I didn't make a lot of notes, actually. I'm just feeling kind of inspiration, because life is more basic than we want to believe. I'll give you the applicable, right? What can you apply? What I have found helpful for myself helps me apply the things I'm saying. The number one rule, the number one goal is to be. That's what you have to do. You are created to be through this time, at this time, in the vessel and body and energies who you are. But what do you do? That's the question. The society we were raised in, that we all went to school in and we cohabitate in, this society is all about doing, right? What do you do? What do you do for a living? What have you done, right? That's part of getting to know each other, is how do you fit in? What is your role? How do you provide for yourself? We're not as much doers, right? If you're not paying attention to what you are being, how you are being, what you do can become secondary. Because if you think about it, think these thoughts through, it makes sense. If what you're being is angry, then whatever you do is going to be done with the energies and the motions of anger. If what you are being is sad, same thing. You're going to do or see everything through the lens of and with the energy of sadness. Now, if you can give yourself permission to be at peace, you can only be in the present moment, right? The present moment is the only time that we live. The past is a memory. The future is a hope. We are the breath and the experience of now, the present day. Nothing more, nothing less. If you can understand that you are nothing more, nothing less than this moment and the experience that you are, well, then you recognize the truth. And the truth is, we live in a duality, a paradox. Light becomes form. It's magical. There's an essence and a quality to life that is magic. If you can start reminding yourself of that and accepting that, then you'll align with the magic of life. And if you take the ideas of Jesus seriously, miracles, he performed magic. Right? God is magic. Align with the magical qualities of life. Align with the trueness of that which is. Because that which is true is from God. It's what we get to and have to deal with. So here, I've been going on for a little bit. We do have a guest here, so welcome back, Brenda Debates. How are you today? Are you there, my friend?
I'm here.
Did you join with thoughts or just saw the link?
I'm sort of like trying to juggle a couple things going on here, but go ahead for a second.
Tell you what, yes, please get situated and settled and jump in as you feel. Here this morning, I was up late last night, first with Snafu and then with Tommy's panel, and so I slept in today. But this morning I was watching one of my favorite creators, Aaron Abke, in the Jesus Way podcast. The words from the Bible, when you get out of the religious context, there is still wisdom to be found in that. And if you can open your mind into the idea of spirituality, you can recognize the truth that's in the words. Those who drink from the words of Christ, of Jesus, they experience the eternal life. Those who drink from the wisdom of the world, will end up thirsty. I spent most of my life pretty thirsty and alone. And I didn't recognize that the emptiness I felt inside of me, it was from a hunger. It was from a hunger of wanting to know. I didn't feed that hunger until I started learning again. Once I started learning again, I became, dude, I was just all in. You ever do that, Brenda? Find a new topic or a new part of the world that just fascinates you, and so it's like you get consumed by trying to understand and to learn?
Well, this is what I do all the time. When I debate flat earthers, typically they bring up issues that I'm not familiar with or don't know fully.
Mm-hmm.
And that causes me to look up the information and to figure out how they got it wrong, which they almost always have. And that's how I learn things, or have been learning things. I do other things as well. Lately, I've been talking with ChatGPT. Do you use things the AIs like ChatGPT?
I've started. I've started more recently, particularly in the areas of writing, helping me to improve my communication with writing. But
I think they're very helpful, as long as you understand the limitations and what's actually going on. I think that they're pretty helpful. So for me, I've been using it to help me with procrastination. So,
how so?
Well, I'll talk to it and I'll tell it, these are some things I want to do today.
Mm-hmm.
So give me a schedule. Tell me, give me a schedule to. Sounds like you got the police in the background there. So give me a schedule to accomplish these things. And it will give me a schedule. And then I'll go do them and report back. And simply the fact that I have this application to report back to just helps me kind of get over the hump to actually do things, to get things accomplished. I mean, I know it's not a real person. It's not like I made a promise to a real person, but I made a promise to a thing which kind of acts like a real person. And so it gets me over that hump, and I've been able to get some things done that way, and it's been helpful. There are apps that you can get to do just that, but I've been using the free chat. I've been using ChatGPT or Claude are the two that I use the most. Those have been helpful.
They are. A couple of things you said, though, is one thing for sure is to be aware of the limitations, and using technology. We live in a time where we've got a lot of apps and a lot of innovations, technology that other people have created that can be very helpful and beneficial. And I heard an interesting perspective about the development of AI, in that it's just another source of consciousness. Consciousness and intelligence is eternally available. So going to ChatGPT is just like going to a smart person. They may know, they may not know. The odds are better for something that's been exploring and studying and gathering knowledge. The odds are better that ChatGPT may know. But just what you said too, Brenda, we have the potential to give our power away by obeying what either someone else would say. You know, you could have a friend that helps you come up with a schedule too. And that's kind of what the ChatGPT is. It's just another source of consciousness.
Well, they're not conscious, but they are an active. They are a an active application. And the friends aren't there at 6:30 in the morning when I'm getting up and I'm thinking about all the things I need to do today. So I just tell it a few things. I need to get this, this, and this done today. And it gives me a schedule about it. And it doesn't have to be a real person. It's just having that commitment to writing things down and making notes about it just seems to be able to help me to do that. Other things I do is I ask questions, but I ask like factual questions. And you do have to double check because they do hallucinate. And they do. Now, recently, ChatGPT had to dial back their AI because it was being too much of a sycophant to people, is what they said. And it's more neutral now, and I think I like that better because it was very fawning to people, at least to me. At least that's what I detected. However, I do like it because, like this image right here, is based. I gave it a photograph of myself, and it produced this sort of anime-like image, which I like. It produced that, and it's really fun in certain ways. But the people who make these things say that we're not really ready, people, for what's really going to come because they're very basic right now, but they're going to get a lot better.
That's the pattern of life. Things continue to grow and develop, problems and solutions. And we're living at a time right now where we've had technological and we've had technological and industrial growth that has surpassed our societal growth. Right now, we've got, regarding AI specifically, I'm no expert in that field, but listening to some of the people involved, that's what they're talking about, is that we don't have laws that are set up for this new development. And so one of the downsides I see is AI is learning from people. Well, people have been confused. We've normalized patterns of aggression. We've normalized patterns of dishonesty in our governments and our corporations just throughout time. So if we're going to model a new intelligence, if it's learning from our poor behavior, well, that's where the real threat of AI comes in that, it won't take long for a higher level intelligence to realize that the human species is part of the problem here on Earth. And if we don't find a way to raise our standards, if we don't find a way to grow as a species, we'll be responsible for our own self-destruction. I'm sure that
I don't know. I don't know if that's. I mean, they say it's possible, but I just don't know. Maybe.
I've seen enough of the signs and the explanations that, yeah, I mean, we're living at a time, to me, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And in a world where that has normalized secrets and lies, the world is insane. Mankind, the human species, warring at each other, warring at ourselves, polluting the environment, putting chemicals and all sorts of shit in the air and the water and the land. I think it's part of the spiritual, right, that God designed. If we do not love the truth, we fall in love with delusions. And the delusions that people love has resulted in Donald Trump and Netanyahu and Putin and Zelensky. All of those people have risen to places of power. Why? Because the masses have been deceived. But
Were you able?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Were you able to? You said you wanted to talk to Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to you a while ago. Did you get a chance to do that?
Not yet. I haven't had a chance to speak with many people beyond the live streams, but I keep trying.
Oh, okay.
I keep
Okay.
trying. Well, yes, I am. And I don't want to actually just speak to one person alone. I don't want to speak to just Donald Trump alone, and I don't want to speak to just one congressman alone. I'd love to speak with the men and women representing the American people in the federal government. Because if we want the world to change, we're the people to make the changes. If we want a better community, you got to make the people better. Better people create a better community. The world, America, is an example of the divisions. We've got a nation that's built with great principles, the ideas of freedom, the ideas of charity, the ideas of self-preservation as well. Those are all good values. But we're also divided. Worse than I think America, we're divided. Well, maybe it's always been divided. Mankind has always found divisions because of the egoic selfishness. It's insanity.
So, yeah, I certainly people who are egoistic are a real problem, I think, right now. Egoism, where people are just out of control with their own agenda. That's part of a problem right now.
Mm-hmm. People.
Sorry.
Well, I paused for trying to gather the words because in the greatest picture, right, everything is cause and effect. The universe is the cause, and we are all the effects, and we are the cause, and we share a lot of effects. Where I'm going with that is people are the result of their past. They only operate at the level of mind that they have learned, right? And so we have a world that has normalized and historically, and it's been precedent. We've got authority, and then we've got through authority, we get the accumulation of wealth. This wealth and authority game, it's the devil's game. The devil plays these games and convinces people to obey. And people who just blindly obey, well, they end up going to wars. And I don't believe there's honor in obedience, not at a time like this. We glorify the military and the police because they obey orders. But those who obey do not always think.
Well, sure. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about any of this. There's nothing. You're not saying anything that I can really disagree with, and so it's hard to think of something to say. You know how that works? It's like it's not interesting when the people on the YouTube channel all agree with each other. It's interesting if there's a disagreement, and I don't really have a whole lot of disagreements with you.
Brenda, thank you. Thank you for that willingness to recognize. I think where we do have disagreements is in the possibilities, right? The imagined and unimagined. I believe the world can change, and I believe that we can affect that change. And that includes global change, world change. We are the development and the evolution of mankind who's here today. But I suggest mankind by design by perfect design and perfect allowance, I believe mankind, we have lost our way. And we lost our way by teaching each other that we're in this alone. None of us is alone. None of us is completely separated from the rest of the world. We're all dealing with the same sun, the same Mother Earth, the same politics.
Well, sure, but you shouldn't let the current state of affairs dictate to you what's going to happen or what could happen or what's possible, because there's a lot of people. I mean, just because we aren't seeing it right now, there's a lot of people who are opposed to what the current state of affairs. Excuse me. I was having some beans and rice. Lots of protein. Yeah. Beans, that's a staple that like half of the world has every day is beans and rice. So yeah. And yeah, I think we shouldn't think that it's going to always. I mean, things could get really bad, but I kind of think, or I hold out that there's a lot of signs that people are not going to take everything that's going on well, and they feel that they've been misled and deceived, and they're not happy. Even people that voted for Trump are regretting their vote, and they are not happy. And so I think it's possible that things could turn for the better in the future, and how that happens. I don't think anybody knows. I don't think anybody can know. I have no idea how anybody would know, but I think that it's possible, and it's not. Well, one thing we do know is that a better world is not possible if you don't think it's possible, right? If you don't think a better world is possible, it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
You have to think that it's possible, right? I think that's something to come away with.
Brenda, that's actually very powerful and insightful. You have to believe that better is possible. And that can be hard to imagine if you've spent a life just surviving and making it through. It can be hard to, because we develop these mindsets, right? So I remember this in myself. Something good would happen, and I just immediately have an expectation. Great, when's this going to fall apart, right? These are, who knows? I don't know if it's fully karma. I don't know exactly how it all happens. I know we're all on our own individual paths. We all experience and learn, hopefully learn through what we've experienced. There's a perfect order that comes together, that somehow we're a part of this ever continuing development and evolution of life. Life is not just in the physical form, but it's also in the energetic form and in the mind of intelligence. We're living at a time right now. Should mankind be able to break the habits of fighting with each other, if we decide, you know what, human life and the continuation of sustainable living here on Earth, those are pretty important goals. So if we set the debts aside and we set the national conflicts aside, if we set the political issues aside and we look at what's important, we can change the world when the truth is set free. When people are no longer blindly obedient, that's the key. Kind of swinging back to what.
No, I certainly agree with you on that blind obedience. I think that is a real problem. I agree with you. So I don't know. This is getting to sound like, like, oh, I agree with you. Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah. There's not even though I have a very different worldview from you and most of the people that you have, there's a large amount of overlap in what we think about. And so, I don't know, not much to say, I guess.
I mean, I respect that. And thank you. That's what you pointed out. There's tons of differences between the different people, right? People come in many varieties, many forms, many ideas, but when we actually pause, we let the beliefs and the worries and the ideas, when we let those drift away and we're just present, regardless of language, regardless of gender, we are very similar in nature. We all experience pain. We all experience sorrow and pleasure and joy. I guess it happens to different degrees. But if history, I trust that history, it's like the present. History, the past, present, and the future. There's so many variables. There's so many perceptions and parts to it. It may be impossible for us to know completely. But what I've been learning, history does repeat itself until people change. And, well, history still repeats itself. But if we learn from the past, we can learn from the past. Due to the advancements in technology and communication, we're living at a time unlike others. Through this example right here, you two, we're overcoming space and time, the two greatest limitations of man. We can overcome space and time. I can speak to people clear around the world in the present moment and in the future moment. If we start learning from each other, through each other, we're going to create a world that's magical, because it's already magical. But mankind, in our selfish and prideful patterns, this is the spiritual teachings, right? Through sin and selfishness, we've created divisions and wars and conflicts. But if we unite together, with righteousness, well, then justice is normal. The spiritual path is unity. That's what the Buddhas were teaching, and the Christ, and all of the spiritual devotees. They've been teaching us this about the oneness, the unity of all that was, all that is, and all that will ever be. Thank you, Great Vision. I've got another guest.
I broke my word. You triggered me up here and I broke my word. I said I'd never come up on your stupid looping panel again. But I'll hang out with Brenda because I don't want to be typecast as a straight. But Jack, this Jesus that you claim to follow, and I tell you don't, he is the great divider. And this thing you're saying is backwards.
It's backwards in the religious, in the eyes of the religious, because
there will be division just alone, like besides all the political and all the disagreements, just the Jesus entity alone will cause division between between son and father, daughter and mother. It just is the isness.
It's already here, Tom.
No shit, it always has been. It's all that is. It's all that will be.
Yes.
Until Jesus.
He never left. His presence is eternal. He's always been here for us.
No, he left.
Actually,
he left.
I don't have a whole lot of problems with Jesus and what he says. If you read,
he loves you, Brenda.
If you read just what Jesus said, there's not a lot to disagree with. What I disagree with are the people who presume to speak for him and to speak for others, and the institutions that the institutions that they've created, I have more opposition to the followers than to
I'm talking about
man.
those Catholic pagans.
No, I'm talking about you, all of the followers, right? I have disagreements with the followers, not with the man himself, whoever he was. I think he's dead. Yeah, I think he's dead and buried, but I think the things that he had to say are not terribly controversial. Terribly controversial. I mean, he emphasized love and compassion for other people, and I don't have a problem.
Oh, he was a radical. He was very much a radical. But but yeah, like if you say back in Old Testament days, if you claim to speak for him and it turns out you weren't, we had to end you by throwing rocks.
Right.
But to my knowledge, I'm not out here misspeaking his directives.
I don't think people should throw rocks. I don't think people should throw rocks.
Right. Brenda, thank you.
Well, it was his. I mean, it was Old Testament, but it was his.
Well, no, this is part of the problem. Religions taught man that it's okay to war.
No, Jack, I'm not going to loop this.
Hey, Tom, you're right. I'm not going to loop this. You can take your ignorant views elsewhere.
Oh, so you have a problem. This is how you're going to end wars? So between Snafu and GG, you're going to throw up a sheepish timeout hands, and you're just not going to hear me out. What if Congress does you like that, Jack?
I've heard you out. You're the one in denial.
No, you don't understand, Jack. You don't understand.
That's you.
No, I understand. I can quote your stuff verbatim, Jack. And Brenda, I got a thing in common with you. I am sharp on all the flat earth points that they can throw out. I have slowly adapted to all the things, and you're right. I was always looking for that word right there is where you're wrong, or that sentence is how you're wrong right there.
Good for you. You managed to debunk flat earth. Good for you.
It's like an exercise, right?
Well, it's an egoic exercise. Wanting to prove
because people would ask, like, why do you argue with them? Why do you think you can change their mind? I'm like, I just want to learn. The more I learn to counter their things, the more I learn.
Yeah, that's correct. I don't. I'm sorry. I debate them because I don't think that I'm going to change their minds. I don't think I'm going to change very conservative religious people's minds, but I do think that I can learn from the process of debating people. And
what do you think about the Jaren? What do you think about the Jaren and the Witsit, two of the primary flatties coming around the globe? What do you think of that?
Tell you what, can you continue the conversation on Illuminatomi's stream?
No, I'm doing a bad cooking tonight.
Well, you're kind of taking over and railroading my intentions.
Well, Jack.
Once again.
Yeah, I thought maybe we could spice it up because we've heard your thing before. Throw another Talcottian thing at me. Let's do it.
It's kind of his stream though, Illuminatomi.
Oh, it is. But I mean, if he doesn't have people come up, the first one is the same as all of them. And don't you think if he's going to object to his things, he needs to be
You've clearly not given my monologues any attention. Clearly.
Jack,
because you've dismissed
there's nothing new.
I say. No, there is, because your mind. Ooh, Tom, you are just what you said. You claim
you just realized it.
You claim there's nothing new. This is the exact message.
No, to your bit, yeah.
This is the exact message that I wanted to point out with my thumbnail. Fools repeat their fools because they think they know.
I bite my thumbnail at you.
You think you know things, and then you keep spending our time arguing about what you think you know and not the facts.
Yeah, we can slowly walk through the facts, and you'll see that that's you. And that's not what the full archetype is. You're just making stuff up.
You claim this, Tom.
See, that's your copy paste response. You claim, I claim that, Jack. You claim, I claim that.
Let's discuss facts. Can you try that?
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm all about facts.
Right. Okay. So, since you found only disagreements with me so far, what is the part where we might be open to finding a resolve on? What can we find?
Well, that is a good example of, if not us, there will always be that. You obviously aren't happy with the current administration, right?
Okay.
Like, you can, what's the old saying? You can please some of the people all the time, all the people some of the time. That's why there will always be conflict.
Well, there's always conflict with fools because fools repeat their conflicts.
No, there's great and intelligent men that have been in conflict.
Actually, no, we've been deceived. Okay. Honest people, let's think it through. When an honest person has a
because there's
disagreement,
no small mustache for you to worry about, you think that all that was just pointless.
actually, why don't you listen to my explanation of honesty versus dishonesty?
But you're starting on a foundation of sand.
I'm speaking generically, and we can discuss the facts generically.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
broad stroke, generic.
an honest man, when he's got a disagreement, an honest man will bring forth the facts and say, you know, this is what I see, and this is what it appears to be. Can you please explain to me, is that right or is that wrong? Because an honest man
appears to me,
judgment. You do.
It appears to me that you believe entities desire war rather than war being the result of another issue between them. Like nobody's like, oh, I can't wait to go out in the field and go do more war. There's always a reason that conflict is there. It's not for you doing war.
Excuses or reasons?
Well, if it's worth killing each other over, it's usually reasons.
Well, that's the problem. People make assumptions.
What's the problem?
They use thoughts as excuses.
No, you said that's the problem. What are you saying is the problem?
People go off of their assumptions, not off of the facts.
Are you just speaking generically? Like, are you speaking for the world, saying they're going off assumptions?
When people go to war based on the excuses they think of, right?
See, that's narrative. That's narrative. It's not excuses.
Right. Okay.
When a country said this is our border and another country says no, our border goes there, that's not an excuse. They got reasons.
Right. So
when Small Mustache was like, all these small hats got to go.
Israel, Tom, how about current day Israel? October 7th.
Very good. Very good.
It was used as the excuse, and now the death toll is over, what, 60,000? Maybe more than that? Could be up to 1 million people.
What's the excuse?
October 7th. They allege there was an invasion. It's
Jack, let's not.
Lies.
Maybe October 7th was a thing, but that war is because that land has always been disputed because the Jews walked the desert for 40 years.
Colonialism.
But actually, it's not disputed because the Rothschilds and the Germans gifted Israel to the Jews.
Tell you what,
I'm just telling you the facts, man. I'm just telling you the facts.
You're taking what I'm saying. You're deflecting. You're not even.
No, I'm telling you things you might not know.
I know those things, Tom. Why would you assume I don't? This is our problem too, buddy.
Wow, how long you got?
Well, Tom, this is the problem. Your prideful mind has made the assumptions that I don't know.
I don't have a prideful mind, Jack. I don't have a prideful mind. It just looks like that because I run laps around like a flat earther.
No, you think.
Brenda, were you trying to say something? I thought I heard you try and cut in there.
No, I've not been trying to say something. I haven't.
Did you see the? Do you agree that you kind of have like a Stephen kind of talking patterns? Kind of remind us of King Stephen. It's fascinating.
So what? You think whatever you want.
It's just a fascinating thing. It's just a fascinating thing. They have like the same speech pattern or something.
what's fascinating is Tommy calls himself a Christian and he's unable to apologize. He's incapable.
What do I owe you an apology? What do I owe you an apology for?
You owe me nothing. Now, when you make mistakes,
No. What do I owe you an apology for?
Tommy, I don't work off of debts. You owe me nothing. When you choose
Well, then
to
why did you say? Because even the freaks said an apology. I don't know what I've done, Jack Talcott.
You have habits of being very disrespectful and offensive.
Right.
To me and to many others.
And I have years of receipts of you being that I have yet to unleash.
There's your excuses again. No,
it's not an excuse. You are very disrespectful. Did you watch the review of you mod guarding Rachel Wilson? You're a very disrespectful host, Jeff.
So you claim. And here, I know you always want to compete and you always want to use the excuse. Here you go. Stephen has done that with me as well. Tommy, I'm telling you, you're wrong about me and you're wrong about you. And being wrong about me and you, you're also wrong about God, Tommy. You're also wrong about Jesus. I've tried explaining it to you, but I'll dust my feet off. I can't communicate with people who just want to argue.
Okay.
How can God communicate with us when we're just filled with disagreements and arguments? It's not possible. God is the truth. And the truth is not available for those who want to defy and deny the truth. The truth is available for those who seek, for those who want. But each of us, this stuff is not taught in school. And I know I'm saying it sounds so basic that everyone should know it. You're not saying anything new, Jack. No shit. I'm pointing out observations on how we work, how the human mind works. Thou shalt not judge. Because if you can literally believe whatever you want, it's how God designed us. And when I say God, I'm talking about the source of the universe. I'm talking about the source of time and light and everything that time and light may bring. That's God to me. God is with everything. And the messages from the Bible, what Tommy did say is true about Jesus. He was so many more things than what the religious have given him credit for. He was a radical. He stood against the contemptful religious practices, the Pharisees and the Sadducees running around in judgment. Well, Tommy, I suggest you're one of those. You're part of the Christian fundamentalists. The change or the orthodox of the Christianity has turned people into Pharisees, Sadducees, running around with contempt and condemnation for other human beings like themselves. And Tom, I love you as a friend. I would really love to have fun with you, but I've got you in the back now because of the patterns. I don't know what to do. Austin Murphy, the messages from the Bible are constantly being Mandela affected and changing, so nobody knows what it originally said. It's a joke. I kind of disagree.
I'm gonna take off, Jack.
Okay.
And not for any particular reason. Not because of anything that's gone on or anything like that. I just think
it's time to move on. I got you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Brandon.
I ran out of things to say. Right. So I hope you get a chance. Probably talk to your representative, your congressman, and then try to get to Trump. But I wish you luck. Good luck in all your future endeavors.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you joining today,
All
sincerely. Thank you much. In this comment here, the messages from the Bible, there is reports and evidence of potential Mandela effects, changes in the words and changes in history. I don't think it means the Bible is a joke. I come to a different conclusion. What I believe is happening with the revelation of the Mandela effect and people identifying these different patterns and changes, it's to demonstrate to us that history is not what we think. The memory is not to be relied on completely. It's time is fluid. Time is change. That's what you are. That's what I am. Time has brought us, and we are the change from the past. We are here to do the future. Tommy, if you would slow down, may I ask this? Can we please slow down and actually have a conversation?
Jack, do you know why Jesus was raging on the Pharisees? It wasn't just about them trading coin in the church.
Right.
It was because there is a religion and a ceremony to the faith, and the Pharisees were making an enclosure where only they and the Jews of that place could do it, and all the people that traveled from afar, they had to like be in this outer area and wait for their turn to get in. And Jesus wasn't having it. He was like, my Father is for all. Why are you separating? Why are you doing this? So you don't just get to take your feels and modify a thing that you don't even know about. I'm not arguing with you. I've been trying to help you ever since you said, I'm looking for somebody that understands the Bible and Christianity that can help me understand better.
Right. I've been hoping to have...
If you get triggered, it means you have predispositions or assumptions about it that are incorrect.
Actually, well, that could be partially true, but what I have asked for, like you said, I've been hoping people would join me for conversations instead of lecturing me and just talking at
I'm not
me.
lecturing you.
I'm
not lecturing you. Whenever you disrespect me, even I'm challenged with keeping a nice tone or a respectful wording.
Here, what you just reminded me, I encourage, if you haven't seen this yet, check out this film, Christspiracy. It's talking about some of these things you're discussing, presents the case that part of what Jesus was standing for was to end the animal sacrifice. And if that's the case,
his death was that. No, his death was that. See that look? See that look? He was the final animal sacrifice.
Yeah, it's all God's
Jack, this is
story.
Christianity. This is the difference between Jews and Christians, is that the Jews still Torah, which is the Old Testament, and they deny the New Testament. The completion of the law was Jesus's sacrifice that ended animal sacrifice. And before he died, animal sacrifice was perfectly fine because it was God's commandments.
Tell you what, I encourage you, check it out. You don't know everything.
No, check out the Bible, because that's what it is. God gave.
The movie is sourced from the Bible. It's sourced from historians and those who actually did the research instead of just thinking of opinions. And what I'm suggesting is, at this time that you and I are living in, the new century, right? We're here in 2025 already. Because of the technological advancements, because of the advancements in academia and science, the way that mankind has developed patterns and methods for study and identification, we're living at a time where history is becoming more and more understood. Since the printing of the Bible, since the King James Version, there's been additional archaeological discoveries, additional documents and manuscripts found and interpreted. And so there's a lot of more details that are available beyond just going to your local church and listening to the local pastor. We live in a time right now where the past is being developed. The future is emerging through us right now. Tom, what's up, Tom?
That's heresy.
How so?
Like we still have God's word today that was appointed all that time. I've already covered why we know it's still God's word and the process through history to protect it.
Are you?
You're saying that my 20 plus years of 3 days a week researching the Bible, you're saying that's just assumptions, and you go watch some New Age movie and you think you got it all figured out?
No, tell you what, I don't mean to diminish.
You
I
very disrespectful.
And you're not listening, and you're doing just what you're saying. I don't mean to diminish your education. I certainly don't know where you've looked or what you've studied, Tommy. But what I was trying to add to the conversation, I put you in the back because I didn't get a moment to speak. I was going to ask, are you aware of the Moses scrolls, of the Gospel of Thomas, of some of the other some of the other recoveries and translations from the Nag Hammadi library? Those are what I was referring to. I didn't understand those things, and I've been learning a lot about them. Hey, we've got a more positive guest. Praise God. Welcome, Power
Fuck you, Jack.
How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm all right. I'm just I was listening, and my question, I guess my curiosity is how I don't know how people can say that the Bible's protected or untinkered with, since we have so many different versions of the Bible, like the slave Bible, for instance. So that was my curiosity.
This is a pattern of the religious. I mean, they come, particularly the Christian, right? That's who I've had the most experience with in my life and in America. There are a ton of different beliefs. I remember growing up and being around a bunch of the Christians that were convinced and absolutely certain the Bible was the only source of truth. That meant the world was 7,000 years old, and that the extremist interpretations of some of these things are crazy.
Agree.
But
I mean, it just seems like it's, and I'm not trying to like dunk on Christians or be snarky or anything, but it seems just plainly obvious, since there are so many different versions of the Bible, that of course the Bible can be altered and changed and has not been kind of preserved, because you can watch it happen in real time. So.
Yeah. It's as with anything. I mean, to tie this into an earlier conversation with Brenda, we were talking about AI, right? AI is a source of interpretation. The Bible is a source of interpretation. The Pope, the pastors, the preachers, your teachers, they're all just sources of information. What it comes down to, it seriously matters. We get to believe whatever we want. People, for whatever reason, want to believe that they have no power. People want to believe that they're always going to be a sinner, and they're helpless, and they're hopeless, and they got to wait
for the
for
responsibility. Power would be fine if they could get it separate responsibility.
That, you're right. See, this is the illogical idea of, holy shit, it's part of our design. We have the ability of logic and reasoning, but the self-preservation mechanism takes that logic and reasoning and it twists it into whatever we want. And the want is led by the heart. And we're not taught to go to the heart when we're young. We're taught to go to authority. We're taught to go to someone else. But the religious, they've put Jesus on a pedestal, and many of them have put the Bible on a pedestal right next to him. And they don't actually understand it.
I would say that you could consider the Bible an idol.
Yes, some have. Some have idolized the book, and the book actually says nothing. It's just a collection of words, right?
Which says something.
Yes, it does. In my story,
don't make me defend Christianity from you. This is weird.
it is kind of weird, but this is where we're at. My path, my development, the Bible was the last place I wanted to look, but it's where I've been finding a lot of confirmations. Not so much in the historicity of the word, but in the underlying teachings. The Bible it's a perfect document. One could easily support the claim that it's, given by God, because that book will be used as excuses, excuses for people to find hate, to find division, to go to war, or it'll find the answers. So if we read with the mind, we'll get the excuses we want to find. But if we read from the heart, as though what we want doesn't matter, we just want whatever is true. That's how I read it. And when I read the Bible, particularly the red letters, the ones credited to Jesus, it made perfect sense. I couldn't understand why Christians were so damn confused, because the words are simple. Let me see if me and Flo talking. Feel like conversing with our friend Tommy, Flo?
Oh yeah, we can. I'm fine with that. Sorry, I got distracted over here.
Yeah,
I got somebody trying to figure out where to pick up the wheel.
Do you see what he did, Flo? It's just words. That book is just words. And then he 360'd around and did this false glorification thing of it. And then you tell us that you read it and you got a thing out of it, but you don't talk like you read it, or you'd agree with me more often.
No.
Now, Flo, I agree. Most legit Christians will tell you stick with that KJV. Don't bother with these extensive rewordings where Jack adds in words like excuses and disagreements. Just stick with the KJV, and that is the Bible that has been protected and passed down.
You're one of those that's idolizing the Bible.
No, Christians are not confused, and we do not idolize the Bible. It's God's word.
Hold on, Jack. Let me ask you. Okay, I got a question for Tom. Well, I guess, doesn't the mere existence of the other ones just sort of demonstrate that the word of God is not actually right? The existence of other versions undermines the credibility of all of them.
No, if they're saying the same thing, like you could say, direct me to the laboratory and where is the bathroom, and you're still saying the same thing. The message and the word is there. But like I said, most Christians will tell you stick with that KJV and don't listen to all this shit about who King James was. He's actually a very learned scholar, man.
I don't know who he is. I tend to assume that, well, whatever.
But
yeah, I don't know.
Just while I have you here in a Panelverse presidential sense, I've got no problem with your freedom to jail and fine the citizens of the Panelverse. That's their free will. But I'm going to give you 3 days. You need to have those standards posted clearly for the public to reference. I'm your Panelverse president.
You're absolutely confused about who you are. All right, you know what? I'll go ahead. Let me accelerate the countdown for you. Pretend 3 days has gone by. It hasn't happened because it ain't gonna happen. I'm not doing a damn thing.
You're not gonna post like the rules and regulations of, what do you call your region?
I don't know that I have a name for it.
Yeah, you
flow
get the
state.
thing. You see how I'm like doing the policy. I was like, you have to have posted no bonds, posted bills. These people need to know what they're gonna get. What do you call it? What do you do to them? You throw them into the dungeons. What do you do?
I just block them, right? The inmate roster is the block list, and the bond amount is how much it will cost for them to be unblocked.
Right. So shouldn't you have some like rules and regulations?
I mean, is there something specific that's confusing to you that you want clarified on?
No, I just wonder. I just occasionally see your bond list come through, and I just wonder what these people do, and then I like to laugh at Hank for like paying his way out and shit.
Well, no,
But
Hank didn't get bonded. Hank got bought Mitch Levin out of jail.
I don't know. I just think I would want the things posted. It's not like if I say Adam Lanza, I get backstage, and then when Hank and Machine Lies continue to say Adam Lanza, it just like goes right over your head and nothing happens to him.
The thing about what happens on my channel is that it's not fair. It is arbitrary, and it is completely subjective to my discretion.
I agree. Moving on. I just wanted to do a little President Lark there for a minute.
All right, well, I appreciate the feedback. And again, if there's any specific questions, feel free to ask. Anytime.
Nope.
Good deal.
Yeah. How do you live with yourself? Just like, what is it that made you finally confirm that you believe there is a God? And then,
did I do that?
How do you? I thought recently you were on, maybe it was around like a Tomato Cast or something. I thought you had said something about like, yeah, I see there's got to be a God at this point, but you didn't like latch to a religion or anything.
It was probably an argumentative point because I've been debating transcendental, the tag argument, the transcendental proof for God, and so I have two main objections to it, but one of them is towards the back end where probably discursively I was like, if I agree that all these things are true, I don't know. It is probably miscommunication.
This is why I don't like that Dinner Hot Dogs channel, because after Jack's appearance there, I noticed like for another 2 or 3 weeks they just come up and like debate if there's a God, and then it's like redundant. It's just they're all trolly atheist about it.
Dinner Hot Dogs.
Breakfast tacos.
Oh, breakfast tacos.
See what I did?
I see what you did.
Tom's got some good ones, man.
Yeah, not good enough to stay up here very long.
Oh,
you disrespectful, tyrannical bastard.
Here's a question I want to discuss with you, Tom, because we have our disagreements regarding the interpretation and application of the Bible.
No, it's not an interpretation. There's not this big debatable interpretation of what you get wrong.
Okay, so I can't get to the point?
No, go ahead, but I wanted to stop you from your assumption that we have interpretation disagreements. See, You're the one that plays word gymnastics. I'm very factual, Jack. I shoot you straight.
So you claim.
Yeah, see, that's a disrespectful deflection. So you claim, so I claim. So you claim that I claim. Is that what you believe that I claim that you claim?
The point I'm trying to get at is I suspect you don't understand love. I don't.
Shut up, Jack. I'm not a fucking foreigner song. I'm not trying to play a fucking game. All right, I'm not foreigner.
Either am I. I know God as love, and I'm suggesting you do not understand.
Right, God is a lot of things. God is everything. And you just, once again, 66 books, however many pages, you just say, oh yeah, it all sums up to love. That dude cites war. That dude takes sides in war.
Those words are in that book.
God is not. God is not politically correct.
Look into it, dude. It says it in.
I've looked into it. I'm here for you to understand. And when you just sit here and say God is love, I'm going to Rachel Wilson you.
How about you try to understand why I'm saying these things?
How about you try to understand what I'm showing you day after day?
Because you're wrong.
Except for when I didn't come back on and I broke my word by coming back, and look how you did me.
I know. This is a part of me, Tom.
I know. You want to be right. I know. You want to be right.
A lot of people through me will do things they don't want to. They'll say they'll never do. That's been my path too.
I came up to break my word about never coming to the panel. I wanted to talk to Brenda. And now that Flo's up here asking questions, I wanted to hit his questions because you're just gonna do the thing. So you say backstage.
I said I'd never spend the whole night in a city hotel with another man.
And yet,
there I was.
Right?
And I've slept in a bed with a man heterosexually, and I don't know why Jack likes to point it out so much. Jack loves to say he slept in a bed with men.
No, I don't love to say it, but I love for the facts
you
to be
like to say it like Snafu likes to say boinking little boys.
Tom, the purpose.
And that's weird too.
Right. I'm bringing this up because of the ways I've been mischaracterized. Hey, welcome, Tarek. How are you?
And you mischaracterized people. You just threw me in the back and mischaracterized me in all of Christianity.
I know. You're always
you
right.
sit there and call us confused. You say we idolize the Bible. None of that's true.
So, actually, back to God and love. If you play these ideas through, right? If God is love, look at how Jesus walked and talked. Jesus was.
You don't
love.
know how that works. You don't know how Jesus walked and talked. You didn't really read the Bible.
I know. Oh my God.
Some of those red letters.
So we can hear him out. Let him finish.
I know what he's going to say, Trey. Some of those red letters that he was talking to apostles, he was getting in their asses.
Pause.
Yeah.
He was kind. He wasn't necessarily nice.
He brought the
very
truth.
Wallflower. You would have noticed him in a crowd.
He brought the truth with grace and with love. That was his role. And
right, you're just saying empty words. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
You're, Tom, actually, you're so full of yourself, you're refusing to allow the value or weight of the word.
That's disrespectful. I'm offended that you say that. Was I full of myself when I cordially bring you up on panels and I don't have to mod God you?
When you yell at me and insult me, yeah, you're pretty full of yourself.
Oh, so now you know what I owe you an apology for.
You don't owe me an apology. You're just being you.
What were you freak talking about?
You will feel better when you admit where you're wrong. Then you don't have to fight. So
I feel fine. And as far as me admitting when I'm wrong, I do. You don't.
You seem very bitter and ready to fight.
Okay, and then I play the Talcott clip where you're going, do you think maybe I have a reason? Think maybe I have a reason to be a little angry? You remember that, Jack? I have that clip of you. So quit looping this shit. Yeah, I'm kind of bitter that I come up to talk to you in Flow State and you start backstaging me and shit. Didn't even get to talk to the tranny globy lady.
You wouldn't shut up.
No, I asked her if she was trying to say. No, I even asked her if she was trying to say something. Don't tell me I wouldn't shut up.
Holy cows, man.
Flow State, you should watch last night's shit show on my panel. It's a great shit show because it followed Snafu's worst shit show. And it contradicts a lot of what Jack's saying.
No, it doesn't contradict as much as you think. You contradict everything I say.
I don't contradict.
Yes,
I
you do.
seek to be shown. If I do contradict, I like to be shown. You have not shown those facts. You just say it. Now, you contradicted when you said the Bible was just a bunch of words, and then you flipped it 360 and tried to glorify it, idolize it.
What I said was the Bible says nothing. It contains
words. It says everything. It says all the things that really matter.
Words are contained. The people say the things. The people take
now you sound like when your daddy went against the written word. Remember when your daddy Paul was disgusted with the written word because he wanted to control the narrative? He didn't want history books written. He didn't want any kind of recording. He just wanted to say what is. And you kind of do that.
Well, that's you.
Jack, I don't have an ego. I don't have an ego problem. You're the one prostrating yourself like you're some messiah.
Fascinating.
You're living a life for the Lord Jesus. We're all part of your experience. Tell me how egoic you are, Jack.
I'm pretty sure all of us here have pretty big egos. We can just leave it alone at that.
I mean, ego is how we know that's my wife, Rondell, not
Right,
your wife, Rondell. So get your black penis off of her.
That's why
ego.
I don't have an issue with ego. That's why I was saying, like, we don't need to argue over this shit. Like, it doesn't matter.
Oh, me and Jack have to argue. He's crossed lines. He's been very disrespectful.
No, you don't have to argue. This is what I want you to realize. I meant to bring this up.
Okay, then let's have a cordial back and forth without you backstaging me just because I show you up. You want to learn, don't you?
But Jack, can I ask you a question real quick,
Please do.
if you don't mind? Okay, so I kind of have to agree with Tommy on one stand. Like, even though the Bible says about love, right? The Bible has 60 books and 73 with the Orthodox and all that.
Like 9 words for love. There's like 9 Hebrew words for love.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you don't agree with the Bible at all and you don't think it's true at all, then you're contradicting yourself, because you say you're a Jesus follower, which not gonna play well.
Tarek,
if that makes sense.
who are you talking about?
You?
What I'm talking about?
Because he's saying the same thing.
It sounded like you were trying to talk about me, but you gave a false narrative.
No. Let me maybe. No, what I'm saying is, if you follow the book, you have to read the book and understand it. And when you do, you do have to go by the authority in what it says.
Tarek, the authority is the truth.
The authority is God.
God is the truth. The truth is
there's truth that's not scripture. There are truth.
Oh, jeez.
Golly geez, Tom.
I'm not trying to stress you out, Jack. I promise I'm not. I'm just putting it out there. That's all.
I know, but here's the problem. All of these doubts, I swear what I heard you say, Tarek, is you were implying that I don't read the Bible, running off of Tommy's false narrative. I know the Bible. I continue learning on my own and through other scholars. I actively grow in my knowledge and study. I'm not coming on here thinking I know it all. I face a bunch of fucking know-it-alls.
Jack, I agree. I don't even know it all. None of us know it all. I agree 100%, and I give you credit for learning. All I'm saying is, as you're learning, though, if you know, like Tommy has more knowledge about it, I would say, like, just let him say what he has to say and see how it goes. That's all.
Tarek, sure. If I saw signs that Tommy knew more about it than me, I would certainly listen. But Tommy doesn't follow Christ. He talks about Christ. He talks about the Bible. He makes it up. And he fights for his ways. Tarek, I'm not confused. Why people don't want to take me seriously is in great part due to the people I've allowed myself to be around. And then I get blamed for what the people around me do and say. Tarek, brother, I'm not wrong. I'm really not wrong on these ideas of God being the truth, Christ being the love from God for mankind to know. These are very simple explanations. Where am I wrong?
No, I didn't say you're wrong. I agree with you. I think Tommy does not... I don't think has Tommy ever claimed what domination he is?
He's Christian.
Yeah, but I thought one time when he was on your show, and Andrew Wilson's wife came on there, he did say that he was for like kind of the orthodox because he was trying to, you know, maybe be next to them so he can get some clout. So if he is some kind of denomination that would know exactly where he stands. I don't know where everybody stands.
I know he stands in opposition to me. Have you not seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay, but Tarek, you show up here and you want to side with Tommy. And I'm suggesting you're making a mistake, Tarek. I mean, you know there's a lot of controversy around me. You know there's been a lot of gossip and a lot of
Yes, I agree.
I've been saying since before I came online, I've been saying it regularly in these streams. Hey guys, there's something a little unique that's happening with me. And there's been a pattern where I keep getting falsely accused. I keep getting misunderstood. And I'm really trying to find a resolve to any of these disagreements. But Tarek, man, right is right. I'm not going around attacking people and insulting people. That shit has been happening to me.
That is true. And yesterday, just let me say something real quick. Yesterday, on Snafu's channel, and I went on it over my channel just to let people know, even though I disagreed on some things with you, I said that Snafu at the end, when he brought Chuck in, it was a tactical move to piss you off, to get you angry, so they can make you look like you're angry. So I'm always being biased and truthful because I think everybody has to work on some things. You, me, everybody has things to work on. So when these people are all attacking you, even though if they have some truth or not, yesterday I didn't like the fact that Mr. Snafu did that with Chuck to piss you off, and that's what he did. So I agree with you. You are getting attacked from a lot of different ways.
Thank you for seeing that. I mean, I appreciate that there's people witnessing what I've been dealing with, but I'm really doing my best. I'm not claiming to be Christ. I'm not claiming to be God. I'm just asking people, give me a fucking chance, man. I'm not an idiot. I'm not lying. And Tarek, after I left yesterday, you were quick to befriend, to fit back into the group. And you were quick to say, yeah, Jack's delusional.
I did.
Tarek,
I'll tell you why, but go ahead.
yeah,
I'll tell you.
Delusional.
No. Okay, let me explain that. So that's why I want to come up today, because in the chat they said, "Oh, Tarek's never coming back because of the red blood," and I said yes, but I have empathy because after what I seen yesterday on Snafu saying, I did not like how they all kind of made it look like. So let me explain to you why I said you were delusional. I don't think you're delusional in entirety. When I'm talking about delusional, in terms of your, like the war thing, just my opinion. From your opinion, it could be 100% the way you want to go. It may work, right? Just my opinion, that would be delusional. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you are crazy or anything like that. That's why I was trying to let them know that's not the whole thing. But what happened is, like, to bring Maria on, and this is what Snafu is like, a tricky manipulator. He brings Maria on to make sure she says that, oh, he told me that he was Jesus. And then he brings Chuck before, and then he tries to be nice in between, even though he moderated good. So the whole thing was going good, but then Snafu played his part. So don't take it the wrong way. I didn't mean it that way. And that's why I made sure today on my channel when I was discussing some stuff, I brought you up and I said I did not like what Snafu did. This is the manipulation, and this is what happens with Snafu.
Thank you for that, Tarek. Here's something I'd like you to reconsider, though. If there's a way for wars to end, is the man who's trying to end wars delusional, or are the people not trying delusional?
No, you're absolutely correct. Your goal to end wars is 100% holy and good. Nobody would never disagree with it. If they do, they're delusional. That's a fact.
Tommy does.
What? Yeah, it is.
Tommy,
But
Tommy,
here's my
Tommy
opinion.
claims.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No, you're fine. What I'm saying is 100%. Yesterday, I didn't want to talk too much on Snag because everybody was, talking. But here's the thing. You're exactly right. You are fighting for the whole world to be at peace and end wars. That is not delusional from your perspective and anybody's perspective. They should do that. What I'm saying is, it's delusional to me and others maybe because we don't see it happening. The Bible says it's not going to happen because Jesus would have to do it and stuff like that. That's where I say it's delusional. It's not an attack against you, I promise.
well, Tarek, I believe that it's not an attack against me intentionally, but like Margot's kind of standing with what you're saying. Just because people don't run around claiming they can end wars does not mean we don't want a more peaceful world. Well, when I form opinions, it's truly based on how they treat me. And Margot, I love you, sister. You're part of this experience. There's plenty of evidence that you did not want a peaceful world, not with me. Matter of fact, you refuse to allow a peaceful world with me. And this
That
is where,
true.
but here in the greater picture, consider that relationship with God and mankind. God could have a relationship with every single one of us.
True.
We keep fighting. So if God is love, which I know it said it, and that's been my experience, and it is through love that we find the truth. If we don't have love, we live in delusions, and the delusions create a world of insanity. Hey, I called her out. Welcome back, Margot.
Hi, Jack.
Stephen.
I just wanted to clarify a few things. I thought we had respectful, very peaceful conversations last night. You were very forthcoming with your answers. And
yeah, he's still rejected and bastardized and
yes, he was bastardized. Jack, can I just real quick,
Jack, I was the one. I reached out to the Congressman of Washington. And
oh my God, you're such a fucking liar.
Tarek, please, with respect, please. Thank you.
I suggested they watch some of your YouTubes, and you were there. I go for it. I'm not standing in your way, and I did what I could.
I understand that.
And we're in a good place. I just wanted to say that. If you felt I bastardized you, I apologize for that.
Thank you, Margot. And
yeah,
I'm not pointing. And Tarek, please. It's not an individual. It's the experience. And the reality is there's plenty of evidence that I've been facing groups of people fucking attacking me. Why? Because I want to try and end wars?
And all wars.
Yeah, well, any wars. Margot, I've been trying to end the wars with you and Charles and Maria, Snafu, Chemo, my son, my union reps. I've been trying to end any wars, but people don't really want to support me with my efforts yet.
That is very true.
It's happening. It's going to happen.
You can't say that I haven't supported that. I did what I could.
Oh my God.
Well, Tarek, recently I trust that she's being honest, and recently
Okay.
she's actually been encouraging others as well. So thank you, Margot. I see that and I appreciate it.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Is that King Stephen?
It is.
Yes.
Hi, King
I'm sorry. Hi, I'm sorry. I'm at war with. I got my mouth full. Like
Oh my
Tarek.
God, King Stephen, I'm not eating anything. Stop.
I'm
You, Melanie,
I'm
Red 40,
talking.
stop hating, you bastards. I'm
I'm
not
eating.
eating anything.
I gotta talk.
I am not eating.
He loves to be on. He eats more on panel with his and talks with his mouth full than anybody else ever.
Yeah, that's funny
Anyway,
though.
Jack.
Yeah, I agree.
Hello, Jack. Good to see you. Hello, Margot. Good to see you. I missed what happened with what upset Tarek. Whatever upset Tarek. I don't know what happened, but I don't have any ice cream sandwiches in my mouth.
Don't have anything in my mouth, but I made
But
sure today I don't.
You're kind of at war with your mouth a lot of times, though. You're on panels talking with your mouth full and mumbling. But
Yes,
anyway, good to see you.
I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay.
And maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe it's a tactic I'm doing just to piss off like Melanie and Red 40 and stuff like that. Maybe it's just fun. It's like fun thing to do, even though sometimes it's not. But I'll let it go. No big deal.
Red 40 and Melanie. I don't know about pissing off them, but Red should donate to Jack again. He donated the other day when I was on here to kick me off. He's got an issue with me. I think he has an issue with Tarek. Red,
Yeah,
you
of
should
course
just
it does.
donate some money. Yeah, you should send some money. Oh, Rebecca's here. Oh, look who's
Oh,
here.
God.
Oh, extra large. Anyway, Jack, how are you doing today? I just dropped in. I didn't catch the beginning of the show. Unfortunately, I wasn't available. But growth or stagnation is the topic. Let's try to get back on topic, guys. Let's get back to the show. I think it got derailed a little bit with maybe gossip or something.
Yes. But can I say something real quick about yesterday at Margot and Jack? Because I know Jack told me to yield and I did. I just want to show something that happened yesterday. Even though Margot like is trying to say, okay, I called the Congress people to get you through all that. No problem, dandy. Anybody can do that, but thank you for doing that, Margot, right? But in the same time, what she's doing with everybody else is to make sure that you are a dummy because she was asking all these questions about Trump and them to make you look like you don't know what the fuck you're doing in terms of that. So there is a tactic she's doing. Don't think there isn't. There is a tactic.
Oh, you're saying she's being tactical, but you're kind of going back. Let's go forward.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Let's move forward. I think it'd be for the best for the show. I don't know what Margot said or what's going on, to be honest. I'm kind of out of the loop a little bit.
What you're describing and what we're witnessing and experiencing, it's symptoms of the ego. The ego is small-minded. It creates battles and it creates disagreements. It's also very deceptive. There's a lot of people, it's the actor, right? It's identity and the patterns of thoughts. That's what the ego is. But people have learned how to fit in. People have learned how to manipulate. So we have a lot of false lights that are with us in the world today. And it's not just at the celebrity level or the mainstream platforms. We've got a lot of false lights, prideful, selfish people at the everyday, ordinary level. And these false lights put on a fake show of goodness, but then they're digging the knife in the back. And the ego is cruel. I didn't realize how cruel people could be. And my life, I've been blessed. I recognize that and I honor my blessings. But I face cruelty from people I thought, there's no way. There's no way they could be this cruel. But they are. And it's not because they're cruel intentions. It's because they're so selfish and self-centered. They don't give the consequences any thought. So for specifics, I've got Margot and Snafu and Polly Boy and Tommy and all these other people that have found their way into my life wanting to publicly prove me wrong. Why? They're clearly hurt, lost. Guys, this is the world today. In the words of the Bible, those things are true. The wisdom and the truth is eternal. We live in a world of confusion and lies, but we've been gifted. God has graced us with everything we need to thrive. There is a spirit of holiness. There's a spirit of life that is with us that helps us to know what is true. Because the truth it's an energy, it's a resonance, it's a frequency that we find through our cognition and our inner intelligence compared to the outside energies. I've been given a lot of this.
Hi, hello, Jack.
Welcome, Noel. How are you today?
Jack, I love your cat. Where's your cat at?
Oh, she's hiding under the bed now.
What's the name, Jack? Hi, Steven.
Meow. Meow.
My cat
Hey,
is
excuse
smoking.
me. I saw this play, Jesus, Town.
Was that good?
It was really interesting. Yes, today.
Hades.
Do you know what that is?
It's like hell, correct?
What is it?
Hades is like
Hades.
hell, correct?
I'm familiar with Hades.
Yes. And I saw the play, the musical. I did earlier. And it was really, really sad in the end.
Did it have the devil, El Diablo?
King Stephen's Pop.
Hey, you know what, Noel? I want to offer an observation. You know, a little voice of encouragement. It sounds like you're doing pretty well, right?
Yes.
You're going to plays, you're going to movies, you're involved with athletics. You're living a rock star life, Noel. Good for you. Good for you.
She's living a lot more than people in the chat room.
Jack,
Yeah.
are you gonna meet the president soon or no?
I sure hope so, Noel. I sure hope so.
When?
I don't know how, though.
And maybe Joe Biden as well. Is Biden still in Washington? Is he still around, or I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, we haven't seen him either.
Yeah.
But Jack, can I point out something? Like, even though I disagree with you on some things, this is where I tell you, like, when they are coming after you and it bothers me as a human being. I'll give you an example. Give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
All right.
Jack, why yesterday I was hearing these people like go crazy.
You kind of broke up there, Noel. I didn't hear what you said.
Yesterday I saw you and Snappy's channel. That was horrible.
Well, it was an
I missed
interesting experience. Yes, for those who may have missed it, I ended up on the Snafu Cruise channel, and it was a missed opportunity. Luckily, I mean, to credit Snafu and to credit the others, it did allow me an opportunity to briefly speak with some of the people from my past. I got to speak
Oh, okay. Wow.
Maria
I
and
didn't know that
Charles.
happened.
Yes, it
No,
was.
I'm not.
Charles finally spoke with you?
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
We had spoken briefly once when I was in Colorado, and I got triggered and unable to deal with the call. So it didn't go well. Yesterday, I felt Charles and I did better. I didn't do well with Maria. I didn't do well with Chuck, as Tarek was pointing out.
Well, nobody really does well too long with Chuck. He's difficult to get along with. I mean that in a loving way. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, Chuck. It's just the truth. Like he's kind of difficult to get along with.
He chooses to be. I mean, for some people. But see, this is a symptom where I'm pointing at. Chuck is another. He's a fine gentleman, another person in this experience. However, when he goes by ego, he's wanting to insult people, wanting to bring people down. For whatever reason, he's latched on to me. Welcome,
Jack, on YouTube, I haven't seen a lot of people go on YouTube on mine YouTube.
I'm sorry, Noel, but I think that deep down, Chuck and Snafu.
I saw a musical today.
I think deep down, Chuck and Snafu and some of these characters actually do care about Jack, and they love Jack almost as much as Noel loves straws.
Sure.
Yeah,
almost as much. Not quite as much, but
Stephen, that's just though what I was pointing at. I think most people, this is why I asked Tommy that question. I think many people, particularly in this experience, they're like I used to be.
I did saw it, Margot. I did.
They don't understand what love is.
It's called Hades Town.
And this is a symptom. I mean, this is the state of our world today.
Really
we live in a world where secrets and lies have proven to be very effective. That's why people have normalized confusion, and that's why disagreements and conflicts go on and on and on, because people are selfish. They've been conditioned and mistreated. So until we choose to individually overcome the past, we're going to live in these disassociated, reactive states where we're constantly dividing, constantly going to war. I have no wars with anyone. I seek people willing and wanting, not just willing, but people who want to join a life of peace. Because it's here.
Well, your lapdog Arpole told me to come up or he was going to throw me out, so I came up.
I know. Well, you're good and obedient, Chuck. You did as you were told. Do you have anything positive to offer, or are you just here to take again?
No, I mean, I realize that the government, whether you want to call it the State Department or special envoys, do their damnedest to try to achieve peace before any war breaks out.
Do they, Chuck?
War? I think so.
You think so? Based on what? Based on what do you think that?
Well, if you follow the reports, like when Trump sent the envoys over to get the Abraham Accord, things like that, they're trying their damnedest.
Oh, is it working?
To avoid
Chuck?
war.
Is it working?
To some degree, it is.
Chuck, if you honestly believe that?
Yes. All people in government.
You're delusional, Chuck. And you're a man who has proven himself not only to believe in lies, but to believe in liars. I don't have the patience for someone like Chuck today. I had enough of him last night. And here's what I know. Despite Chuck's belief in how wonderful the state is doing at avoiding wars, Chuck, you're in denial. Anyone who believes that Donald Trump is doing what he can to avoid wars, he's not. You're ignoring the obvious. the obvious is we stop funding sides. I mean, mankind has given its power away to money. That's what the government is doing. They're controlling people by controlling the money. There are innocent men and women and children today, right now, refugee camps, detention centers, poverty-stricken, facing famine, dealing with natural disaster. There's a lot of men and women today who are not as blessed as you and me. And I suggest if we get past our egoic nonsense, well, Washington, D.C. is a great place to bring the reforms, and I have been prepared. God and this life have been preparing me for this purpose. So if anyone wants to be a part, let's do it. Let's see what we can try. And in Margot's credit, I trust that she has actually reached out. It's never too late. It's never too late, and we shouldn't be giving up on each other, and we should not be giving up on what is right. And I know what is right is for people to live in peace. And the way that people live in peace is through honesty, with compassion. Guys, I'm speaking to those of you who join the link with me. It's up to us. We can all do better. We can all do better to get along. We can all do better to be more polite, more productive, more encouraging. And the battle, it starts within. Because this topic today, growth or stagnation, and the comment that fools repeat the fools, the idea is to use the benefit of the neuroplasticity. Science shows us these things. We can physically and literally reprogram our minds. We can change our personalities. If you do so willingly, you bring the Spirit into your activity, you start bringing God into your mindset throughout the day, whatever task you're doing, whatever interaction you've got. This is a lesson that I was reminded of earlier and that I'm consciously intending to incorporate more myself. The reminder when I find these disagreements in the situation, it's no longer feeling pleasant. It's feeling kind of adversarial. My goal, my hope is to bring my mind back to God. Because while this is happening, if I can keep God in my mind, then I can do a better job of being proper and righteous and kind. It's not always easy, but brothers and sisters, this is what life is about. We're here to grow. We're here to overcome the limited mindset, the patterns of the past. And if we unite together for the purpose of peace on earth, nothing would stop us, I think. What are your thoughts, folks?
I had myself muted. I'm sorry.
Oh, were you? Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Please.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You spoke about spiritual growth as well, growth or stagnation.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a friend that's trying to grow spiritually. She does need some help. She's also trying to diet and lose weight. Some people have made fun of her weight. I posted an image backstage. She's really trying, like she's very obese.
No, I'm not bringing that up, Stephen. I saw it in the back. No.
It's just for comedy, Jack.
I know.
She's all legs.
know.
She's all legs. Okay.
I don't have that battle. Okay. I don't have
It's
that.
not a battle. It's just for comedy. It's nothing.
Stephen,
It's nothing.
thank you, no. Thank you,
But
no.
she's trying to grow spiritually. She's extra large, is who I'm speaking about, and she is. Oh, Noelle's holding up the Hades town. Maybe she's chatting somewhere else. I don't know. Or is she still with us? I think
I
spiritual growth is important, and there are people that are growing physically, and you know the spiritual growth is important. People should be focused more on spiritual growth than just growing physically.
actually I have theories about weight gain based on my own personal experience.
Oh, okay.
When we lack a purpose, when we talk ourselves out of fulfillment, out of growth, out of expansion, out of life, when we talk ourselves out of becoming greater, we create an emptiness within ourselves. And to fill that emptiness, a lot of times we'll mindlessly eat. That was my practice in the past. That's why mindfulness, particularly in your diet, is so important. But the
So,
point is, I think when we
go ahead.
pursue goals and we achieve inner fulfillment, the desire for greed and consumption, those things diminish. Make sense?
Yes, they're not aware. You said mindlessly eating. They're not aware. Some of these big fatties are not aware that they're just eating everything in sight without, and they're piling in. Some of them eat like 10, 15, 20,000 calories a day. I've heard that. The
Well,
ones that are 800 pounds.
it's not much different than an alcoholic drinking a liter of whiskey a day. You know, it's a
Yeah.
disease. It's a symptom of our inner brokenness.
They're
And
feeding the
here,
disease rather than healing.
this is totally off what we're talking about, but great vision. I've seen some of your comments, and this one, my brother Jack, hone your diamond vision and return to Los Angeles to continue the higher levels of transformation, my friend. I think you've missed or ignored my explanations. Great vision. I appreciate the idea and I appreciate the encouragement. The way that LA experience came into me was a divine blessing. I credit it was perfectly brought together. But what I wanted was not there. And as far as continuing higher levels of transformation, well, I know I can learn on my own, and I don't need to invest in the experience, particularly when it's been on my own. So,
Is Gay Vision the guy from Pakistan that was on the show recently?
I don't think so. I think it's someone, I think it is someone associated with my past experience. And there were some amazing people. But the problem is, these amazing people throughout my life, they create barriers, right? They keep me at a safe distance and keep telling me what to do. But praise God, I don't have the time nor desire nor energy to continue following other people's ideas for me. I explore the ideas and I consider what is best for me. And I did explore and I sought, actually, if I'm not mistaken, I even sought anyone from online who might be willing to sponsor me or invest in my development. But seeking support or finding a lack of support, I got to do what's best for me. And at this
Is he from
time,
Los Angeles? Is that guy from the
I think so.
conference?
I
Okay,
think so, but I'm not sure.
because he just showed up here fairly recently. I didn't see him months ago. I don't think too long ago. He's fairly new here.
Well, I'm making a lot of assumptions as well. You know, it could be, it's clearly someone who knows the past experience and knows the value of what's available in that training.
I don't think it's Snafu though. I don't think it's him because he'd be a lot angrier. It's not Tarek playing a character.
No, I'm
I don't
not.
think.
Well, sometimes I do, but yeah, no, I'm not.
I don't think it's Tommy. I think it's a guy from Los Angeles, maybe. I don't know.
It may be nothing and it may be something. But you know, this is life. We never know. We never know who is delivering the messages that are right for us. Who has the answers? Who has the solution? We don't know what knowledge someone else carries. We don't know what problems someone else is carrying. But I do know what's important. It's important for us to pay attention. And the way to pay attention, it means listening. We can't hear the messages from the divine, from the higher spirit, the higher power. We don't find those messages if we're constantly the ego mind, the prideful mind. If it fills itself up with ideas and beliefs, there's no space for God.
Yes, I don't know if Noelle's rocking out to your message or if she's
She's
trying to do
rocking
an
out.
impression of Animal from the Muppet Show, but look at this.
She's rocking out. Hey, I think it's time to
Jack, can I ask you a question? You know how Margot and Snafu went after you, claiming that you were texting Noel or whatever the BS bullshit? I wonder why when I tell you like Margot lies so much that when Noel yesterday was on Tommy's show, the guy other Tommy had her number and other stuff was going on. Why doesn't Margot go after that Tommy? I'm just wondering how is this like right? How is this not a bias? How is this not a lie?
It's an interesting question, Tarek, and I don't know. But this is what people do. Generically, people, the egoic, we pick sides. We pick sides and then we lack consistency, right? Selective memory. We will let some people get away with things and we won't let other people get away with the same thing. And maybe I do that as well. I'm sure I do. I know I've treated people unfairly when they click the link and joined, but what I've been learning sincerely, all of us have the capacity of holiness. Holiness it includes honesty, and it means being selfless, willing to give ourselves away, willing to sacrifice, willing to offer, willing to share, willing to give. That's how we're designed. We're here, like God, to give ourselves away. I'm confident.
Well, to be fair, and to your credit, Jack, you've been very patient, especially in recent weeks or months with Noelle and Margot. With Noelle and Tarek and some of the special needs people that come onto the panel, you've been very patient with them. Even with Chuck, you've been trying to be patient with Chuck as well. And there's some characters in the chat room that have been kicking around here, like Red and some others that are very disagreeable. But Red, I think if you hate me so much, you should pay Jack $50 to kick me off before the show's over. Like if you really hate me, that would be something productive that you could do right now, Red.
Absolutely.
You're out there angry.
Here, actually, I'm ready to shut down now. Anyway, Noelle, I'm going to toss you. I want to thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon and keep rocking out, sister.
And thank you, Jack. You have a great night. Thank you, Stephen.
Sorry
for all the comedy.
What are you eating?
No, we love the comedy. I'm
eating some,
now I'm eating candy. Yes.
You're eating some candy. Oh, there you go. Well,
at least I don't drink. I don't get high. I don't get fucked up like Melanie was on Tommy yesterday, all drunk and fucked up.
Yeah.
So I'm sober.
Oh, wow. Right. I didn't see all that.
Thank you, Tarek. I genuinely appreciate you. And it was an interesting
appreciate you, Tarek. We do appreciate you, Tarek, and maybe you could recommend the food that you eat on panel. You're always having something, some candies and some ice cream sandwiches, and God only knows what else. But bless you, Jack Talcott, and bless everybody here. I hope that everyone has a fantastic day, and God bless America. God bless you all.
Much love. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate you joining. I sincerely appreciate all who clicked the link, all who tuned in, all who joined, even if I was rude. even if I was rude to you and Chuck and Margot, even, I could have been more polite, and I'm working to become more polite, but holy cows, man, holy cows. Brothers and sisters, for all of us, this is our life to live. And if you're not growing, you're not living. And if you're repeating your problems and you're living this subpar life, making excuses for your unhappiness, or filled with blame, jealousy, contempt, if you're living with those negativity, well, you might be a fool. I don't mean to be insulting, but I want to be true. And what is true is the truth. And the truth is there to learn. Brothers and sisters, seek to learn, seek to grow. When challenges come into your life, what I found very helpful is what I said earlier. Go to God. Bringing God into your mind, into your thoughts, into the processes of your being, not only when you have problems, but bring God in when you have delight, when you find beauty, when you find joy, when things are working out well. Remind yourself to pause and give a little appreciation to the higher spirit, to the creative source of it all. Because brothers and sisters, when you surrender you to walk with love, when you surrender you to align with the truth, man, you align with all that ever is, all that ever was, and all that ever might be. Brothers and sisters, blessings to all of you. Brothers and sisters, to all of you. Thank you. Please do the thumbs up on the way out. Do the subscribe if you have not, and invite others to next time. We'll see what the future brings, because peace is the purpose. Restoring brotherly love. That's what it's about. I'm going to wrap up there. Sincerely, thank you again. Until next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless. Peace. Whoops, wrong one.